Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the Arkansas RC Newbie, and on today's episode we are going to be talking about the Redcat Generation 7 Sport 1/10 rock crawler. That is right, we've got it here, and we are going to be asking the question, okay, everybody is wondering, in 2023, what are the top 3 reasons why you should maybe be looking at this thing as your next crawler project? And we're also going to be looking at the top 3 reasons why not. Maybe you should shy away from this being your next crawler. Alrighty? But guys, without further ado, let's get into this episode. Alright guys, so we're about to get into the list. Now the first thing I want to say is this is probably one of the ugliest bodies I have ever seen for a rock crawler, right, that comes with it. It is the Everest Generation 7 Sport body. Now you do have the Pro as well, and the Pro just has a lot more scale items on there, and it's just not as flimsy. But this thing here is pretty hideous. You can get it in like 2 different colors. But something I was excited about with the body is actually it does come with some decals, so that's kind of neat. But very ugly, but something that you can change out decently easy. But alrighty guys, let's go and start out with the list. We've got the 3 positives and the 3 negatives. Alright, number 1. Alrighty, on the positives, why you should be looking at this thing in 2023 is the price. Guys, this thing right now is under $200. I haven't seen it go over $200 in quite some time. I'm going to put an affiliate link in the description below where you guys can find this thing. And this right here was purchased for me as a gift, and it was purchased at $183 already. But the price for being under $200, it is a ready to run. It comes with everything that you'll need, including the battery and the charger. And only thing that you need to provide is like 4 AA batteries for your remote. But this thing is, as far as I know, is legal to run for a Class 2 setup if you're looking at competing with it. I don't know if you'd want to take it out there and compete with it right away because it is going to need some upgrades. But for $200, ready to run, 1/10 scale, I am looking forward to this thing as being a new project. Alrighty. Now let's jump into number 2. And another thing, I want you guys to list a rock crawler for under $200 that's a better deal at the end of this video, okay? Once you hear all of my reasons or my opinions why this is either a good crawler to get or a bad crawler to get. So if you've got a crawler out there that's under $200, I want to hear about it. Okay, number 2, guys, the parts availability, and that's replacement and upgrades with the Redcat Generation 7. This thing here is just awesome in the way of just typing in the name, and that's something that I kind of really didn't think about when I got my RGT. If you guys have been following this channel, if you haven't, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on, because this will be another series just like the RGT was. But the parts availability, I can go on the internet and type in Redcat Generation 7 upgrades, and there is a whole list. And now that says something because it's very difficult to buy something that is under $200 and be able to basically take a part off and swap it and put a new part on and it fit just like it's supposed to. You don't get that very much, and I have definitely experienced that with the RGT. I've had to make things work. Alrighty, but this thing here, the parts availability is amazing, and I will say most of them are like spur gears being metal, a lot of the different pinions and stuff like that being metal as opposed to brass or the plastic. Your gearbox, this is plastic that it comes with, but you can also get one that is aluminum. Your bumpers, all that kind of stuff, so it's not massive upgrades, but the biggest upgrade I'm looking forward to on the parts availability and the replacement and upgrade stuff is the axles. These ones here don't have very much clearance. I'm not sure how they're going to do crawling, but that'll be on a different episode when we actually take this thing out and crawl with it. But the parts availability for under $100, you can get portal axles that also allow for your chassis, for you to have a servo that's mounted on your chassis as opposed to the servo that's mounted on the axle that this thing comes with for under $100, and it's pretty much a swap over design. So that is number 2, the parts availability. Being able just to type in the name of this thing and find stuff is awesome. So if you guys are looking at basically upgrading something like this, like I am, this is going to be a whole series. It just makes it so much easier. It really does. All right, now, number 3. I told you guys we're going to be blasting through this thing. Number 3, I think this is a huge advantage over some other crawlers that you're going to find in the $200 range. Is going to be the wheels and tire combos. All right, these here are Interco iRock Super Swamper tires, 1.9, and they are mounted on actual beadlocks, guys. Redcat here offers you actual beadlock tires, or beadlock wheels. Now, I'm not sure how great the tires or the wheels are, but something that is great is most of the time whenever you find something under $200, you're going to have a tire that is glued to the beadlocks, or the wheel that's supposed to look like a real beadlock, but it's not. You always get the glued kind, and the downside of that is having to spend money not only on a new tire but also a new wheel. And wheels can go, you know, up to $50, and a complete set of tires is right around what, $50, $60. So you're going to be past the hundreds of dollars. But this thing actually comes with some actual beadlock wheels. We can get some new tires and just throw them on these beadlocks. Alrighty, now the tires are not. They're not vented, but you can actually hear that the beadlocks are. So that is something that's pretty interesting there. Again, we're going to be taking this thing out and doing a newbie review on it. And we're talking about doing a newbie rating system. So make sure you guys don't miss that. Every crawler from here on out will be doing a newbie rating system. So those are the top 3 reasons why in 2023, I think this is a great deal. Now, let's talk about the top 3 reasons why you might want to shy away from this, okay? Now, the first thing that I had seen and I noticed on this Redcat that I'm not excited about is the receiver box. You guys see the receiver there right above the ESC? The receiver is not in a sealed box whatsoever, and I have experienced this once, well, no, twice actually. My RGT did not have a receiver box that was sealed up, and it pretty much put me out of competition to go ahead and compete for the rest of the day. So it just about ruined it because it had gotten wet. Now, the other downside to the receiver not having a box, if I do want to be looking at getting a sealed box, there's really not a lot of mounting locations for me to put a sealed box in there. So I am worried about that big time. I don't want to get this thing wet at all because I don't want to kill the electronics. So that is one of the negatives with the Redcat. All right, number 2 is the linkage positions. Now, this is something interesting from my understanding. I have not had to do this yet, but I have been watching a lot of episodes because this is an older model of the Redcat. I've been watching a lot of episodes of the linkages down here, okay? And I also looked at my manual last night. These linkages are not in the positions that they should be when it was assembled. They actually have them mounted, or they actually show them where you need to put these things, and they're up here on these mount positions here. You can change up the wheelbase a little bit, but this is not one that actually shows in the manual. You're supposed to mount these at different points. Now, that being said, you're going to have to go hands-on a little bit, and it kind of limits you, and it messes a few things up, right? From what I understand. I have not experienced this yet, okay? But apparently, if you're to move these linkages where they're supposed to go, your drive line here, your drive shaft, is actually going to be colliding with the lower portion here right by your yoke. So that is an issue. It's going to be colliding, and you have to pretty much trim off a piece of the internal drive shaft because it's supposed to... your rear axle is going to actually have a lot more travel once you move those linkages, but you have to go inside and do a little bit of shaving of your drive shaft. So that's an issue on the rear. And on the front, again, I haven't experienced any of the stuff yet, guys. I will be switching this over, and we'll be finding out together most likely. And on the front, I guess the issue is once you start to change up your linkages where they're supposed to go to get more articulation, your servo will be then colliding with your bumper post mounts. So you guys see your bumper post mounts there? Apparently, once you move your linkages, you will be colliding somehow with that servo. And again, we'll be finding out, I'm sure, or I'll be letting you guys know on how all that went. So that's definitely a downside. But given the price under $200, you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, now number 3, I just took the body off. I'm going to show you guys some B-roll. Number 3 reason why you might want to shy away from this thing in the year 2023 for your new crawler project. Something that bothered me from when I was looking up on the internet and then now seeing it in person, is you do not have any sliders whatsoever. There's no little bumper step, or there's no little steps or anything to protect your body from getting hung up on rocks. Again, I have not experienced this yet. We'll find out all together as far as how much I'm going to be getting stuck with rocks and hung up, because your body sticks out right in the middle of both your front and rear tire, right? And there's a huge gap here in this section. So I think there's going to be a lot of rocks and just maybe sticks that are going to be getting stuck in between your chassis and your body, and that will definitely be getting me hung up. Now, I might have to fabricate something here with the chassis, because that is one thing I was not able to find, was any kind of aftermarket sliders for this. So that will be an issue as well for you guys. Well, I think it's going to be an issue for you, and I think it's going to be an issue for me. We'll find out whenever we do the newbie rating system that we're looking at doing here pretty soon, and when we get this thing out on the course. But one thing I do like, and while we're talking about this, is I do appreciate the extra time that they took on my little skid plate down there. That's kind of cool. You see how the bolts, or the mounting plate, is all the little mounting spots there for the gearbox are actually they're, what do you call that, pre-tapped or pre-sunk holes, so it's nice and smooth, and it is a piece of hard plastic. That's another part that you can upgrade to an aluminum piece, but I hear aluminum is not the way to go with your skid plate. So yeah, man, that is pretty much just an overview on 2023. You guys let me know what you think about the Redcat Generation 7 Everest rock crawler, 1/10 scale, 4-wheel drive. We'll be doing the newbie rating system on it, so make sure you guys do not miss out on the episode. But guys, if you were looking at a budget-friendly crawler, it's under $200. Again, we'll put some affiliate links in the description below. 1/10 scale, ready to run. If you can find a better deal out there, let me know what you think. But I think that this is going to be an awesome platform for me, the Arkansas RC newbie, to kind of learn off of and start throwing some money, and just having a different crawler on the channel. I think it's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait. So guys, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this episode. Turn those notifications on so you don't miss my newbie rating system. We're going to be starting it out from here on out. Every crawler I get, we're going to be rating it. Alright guys, but appreciate you watching as always, and we will see you on the next one.